Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 5 Tips and Tricks for Careers in Athletics. I am your host, Dr. Maury Mosovitz, with my all-time most wonderful, most special, most creative, most encouraging, most
Wow.
co-host, Jen Albanese. Hi, Jen.
Hello, adding the adjectives. I love it. Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Got to change it up every once in a while.
I know, right? People want to listen and see what you say every time.
Exactly. Well, it's been an exciting week around our area for my family in particular, but
very exciting.
Yes,
very exciting.
We had a political election, and my wife, who is amazing and honestly doesn't usually want to put herself out in the spotlight because that's not really her deal, got elected to the school board, and it's great.
Yeah,
she did it because she really wants to help students. As a teacher, she had people came out. Not only did she go and run for this, but she wasn't on the ballot because she didn't want to, be in the really political side of it. But a group of people came and asked her, like, hey, there were 3 open seats, only 2 people running. Would she go and try and get people to elect her so that she could help make a difference in our community? And she did it, and I'm super proud of her. So
yeah, she won as a write-in, which is so hard to do.
Crazy.
And she had a phenomenal campaign manager. That was B. Maury. I literally have not seen him pound the pavement more for anything in his life, I feel like. And the kids, everybody did such a great job.
Yeah,
of really
the whole
getting their
family
name
was
out
involved.
there. Yeah, did a little social media stuff, posted some signs everywhere. I mean, you went to Ace Hardware on the corner, face was in the window.
She
the
did
bakery,
call me
everything.
and say, she goes, I just drove by Ace Hardware. By any chance, is my face in the window? I said, absolutely, yes, it is. So she was not thrilled all the time because her deal is not spotlight. She really believes in the issues and what's going on. So that's her bread and butter. I am more of the operationalist and doing and figuring out how to get stuff done.
Yeah.
So
let's just say Maury sent out a text message to about 20 people of like the schedule of the day of what everybody's responsibilities were and what we had to do to elect Liz. So we all fell in line and it worked out, and we're very proud of Liz.
You run one East Regional and you can figure this stuff out. You just
everything is the same.
You just have to plan it out. You have to know who's doing what. You got to have your key people, hold people to their times, find out who's doing what. It was a fun thing. And I was just so happy for her and to get her message out there. So that's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. And now we have
I was going to say
spouses that are both on the school board.
A brother and sister combo, different districts, but both on the school board. So it's a real testament to their, our family and what people value in education and
how they want to give back to the community. I think that's not a lot of people understand that being on the school board is also not just like super easy. It's a huge commitment. It's nights and weekends and doing it for pretty much no money and no benefits. And it is
no money, no benefits.
Right.
You're doing it for the community.
For the love of it and the willingness and the want to really serve. So
and listening to people and trying to represent what their interests are. So I think it's awesome. I'm really proud of her. And it's always nice to see John doing it because he's so dedicated to what he does. And
it's great. And it's both of them for what they do is just, it's a thankless job too. So we're very grateful and for people that do that. And we're just lucky that we get to be the plus ones of the two on the school board. The first, the second.
I'm the second
lady,
you're the lady,
first lady.
You would be first lady, and I think it's first gentleman or second gentleman,
whatever it is. Lady, I don't know, whatever, but. We can wear that role very proudly, Maury. We're fine with that.
We love being the behind the scenes of supporting our spouses in their amazing endeavors. So I actually am very happy because Liz does not always put herself out front, and I'm glad that I get to support her this time. So it's a nice thing.
Very proud
I mean, the same thing too. Like you do a lot of great, cool stuff, and John supports you, and then it comes back around, and you get to support him. So it's a very positive thing. And special thing tonight, we have the first ever husband and wife combo that have ever been on 5 Tips and Tricks, and one of my favorite people that have ever worked with me is Alex Parent is going to be on. He is now doing some amazing things at Pittsburgh, opening up a brand new facility, overseeing that operation, was with me for a long time. And his wife, Dorothy, was on previously.
Yes, and she was on earlier this season. So
and
this is the first time. Very cool.
Big supporters of each other. And we're so glad that we have their friendship and have them on. So after this, we'll get to hear from Dorothy's husband, Alex, after these message.
Are you a loyal 5 Tips and Tricks podcast listener? If not, now is the time to start. Get all your info and fun content on the podcast by following us on all our social channels at @AthCareerPod. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast is a part of Athletic Career Consulting. Make sure to reach out to us. The one-stop shop for everything is our website, www.athcareer.com. Remember, follow and like us on @AthCareerPod, rate and review us, and get all your info at www.athcareer.com. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Maury, would you like to introduce our guest today?
Yes, this is one of my favorites. Today's guest has spent over a decade making sure the lights stay on, the floor stays clean, and the game goes on no matter what. He's got to start coordinating facilities operation at one of the most storied programs in college athletics, Syracuse University, where he spent nearly 7 years. He kept the day-to-day humming, scheduled, renovations, fleet management, you name it. From there, he headed to Buffalo, taking on a bigger role as assistant AD for facilities at DeUval University, helping execute a $3 million facilities master plan, standing up at risk management systems, running everything from weight rooms to game day concessions. Next, he spent over 3 years as a facilities manager at the University of Pittsburgh, overseeing nearly 1 million square feet of property and helping coordinate operations for a brand new $75 million research building. And today, he's the facilities operation manager at Legends Global, running a 3,000-seat arena, sports performance center, managing engineers, custodial teams, and lending a hand at the Peterson Event Center. From Syracuse to Buffalo to Pittsburgh, this guy has quickly kept incredible venues running behind the scenes. Welcome to the podcast, Alex Parent. Welcome, Alex.
Yes.
Hi, Alex.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Former intern, former Maury intern.
Intern, and then one of the best staff members we've ever had. So we're very excited to have Alex.
I appreciate that. And just so everybody knows, I still come back to the Syracuse football games for Pitt. When it's here, we always make sure we go to it. When it's there, we've been now going to it. So it's kind of a...
We appreciate that.
We appreciate that. Hopefully, I don't think we play Pitt at Pitt this. Are we at Pitt this year?
Yeah.
No, we are.
Game.
It is a Thursday game. Well, maybe maybe you're gonna finally see me down there, Alex. You might see me at some point. I always threaten you that I'm gonna make it down. So this year you might see me on a Thursday night.
Come on.
This is the first time we've had a husband and wife on the podcast.
Absolutely.
We had your wife Dorothy on earlier this season, and now we have you. So this is a big deal.
This is a very big deal for us.
I have a big shoes to fill.
Exactly.
Yeah,
she killed it. So
fantastic,
we got to see if you can live up to that hype. So, well, I guess with that, we got to get you started here. So first tip or trick.
Yeah. So I won't lie. I took a long time to try to figure out what exactly I could go with. And I think my first one that I came up with is always find a way to yes. I think people like that go-getter or someone who's like on their side, manages to get things done. But like the hard reality is some people think that they have really great ideas and think it's easy to do something. And it's kind of our jobs as like the administrators, facilities, operations to kind of figure out how to do something that they request like safely, in compliance, and fiscally responsible. And you might have to tell somebody, hey, that's a great idea. Can we maybe do X, Y, Z? And that's pretty similar. Or like what I find best is like stroking somebody's ego. That's usually like my go-to. Like I'll go to someone and be like, yes, that is a great idea. I was thinking maybe the same thing. Maybe we do this instead. And how do you think about that? And that usually works out great.
No, that is a good tip because everybody has something that they're trying to do, and you don't want to be the guy that's going around being like, no, 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 no. It doesn't help out a lot. Having to be the one that bears the news of like, we can't afford these things. That you got to try and figure out a way that's like, hey, let's try and find a way to do something really similar. We got a lot of opportunities, and you're right. If people feel like it's their idea and they own it, makes it a lot better than if you have to like try and convince them into something else.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I like the go-getter. Like you said, be a go-getter. I think that in facilities, obviously, and like events, that's very specific of like, trying to figure out the best way to get things done and be a go-getter. But that can be across all the different areas in athletics and sports. Like if you're willing to try something new, if you're willing to, have the conversation with the coach, how do we make this work? I think that sets you apart. So that go-getter, like, hey, I'm willing to work with you type of an attitude, I think sets you apart. And it can be across anything really. So I like that, the go-getter piece. So.
Yeah.
And I would throw in there too, like that also means that you're like in a position where you're not saying, oh, well, I'll never be able to get this done, or other people are keeping me from doing it. Like owning it and trying to like help make it become a reality. It's such a big piece of the puzzle, and something that like is incredibly important. So like by being the person that wants to get that done, no matter what area you're in, or partnering with people to make it successful. Like I know Alex and I both have done this before, but like a lot of times it's the relationships that we build, and that ability to connect people and do stuff is what makes it possible to get stuff done. So not just owning of like, well, this will never happen, it's because these people, and kind of being negative all the time, that never makes it into a experience that everyone's happy with, or usually a good end result.
Yeah, I mean, especially like on the facilities and operations side of things, where like we have so many campus partners, or even internal partners, whether it's your ticketing people or your public safety people. But like we'll have big events and people want to do confetti cannons, and trying to figure out with our EH&S team, how do we?
I want to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe not confetti cannons, more just like pyro, but we'll take what we can get.
I remember when Alex went to D'Youville, I will never forget this. He told me that they had, what was it? They were huge dogs.
Oh yeah, the St. Bernards.
St. Bernards. And my first question for you is, who had to be the pooper scooper? Because that's what really like scared me about a living mascot, because I never had to have like an actual like real life mascot, and who has to deal with cleaning after the dog. I always think of that when we talk about that thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's
awesome.
Good
Was
one.
a good
all
one.
Right.
Number 2, let's go for it.
Yeah, so my second one, and this one I think I hold more dear to my heart. Don't forget to thank yourself, especially in internal operations. It's something you don't really get very often, if at all. You really get anybody talking about how like great the lights look in the stadium, or that the locker rooms were clean. You always hear about like, hey, there was a flood here, or my trash wasn't taken out. This looks not great. You always hear those things. And like, even in like updates from like, universities or your department meetings, it's usually about like, hey, ticket sales did this, marketing did this great initiative, like just endless stuff, donor stuff. But it's never really about like, oh, by the way, there's going to be like new bleachers being installed in the stands this week. So it's definitely a thankless job in facilities and operations. So that's why I think it's very important that you do have to just stop and remind yourself.
Yeah.
That you're doing a good job. I say that like you need to focus on the positive sometimes. I think we always focus on the things that we can do better. And that's great. That's always a good attitude to have, like, hey, how do we make things better? But also don't forget the things that you do well, and be proud of the things that you do well, whether it's the bleachers or selling X number of season tickets. All of it deserves the recognition for the hard work that people put in. So,
and I think what Alex is right on is people just expect the lights to be on and don't realize how much it takes to get the lights to be there and to actually be on. So there's a small club of us that get to understand some of this stuff sometimes, but And I know Alex does this in his own roles when he's working with the people that he oversees, but like you really have to make an effort, especially I feel like in facilities and events. And, I've learned it more and more over the years is like that team that you have is like praising each other and really like making that a team and like mentality of like, hey, we did a good job together. Like this is a good thing, because sometimes people can't appreciate the stuff that happens behind the scenes and how much effort, like, the changing over the dome for years and years. People just like expect that they go in, it goes from football to basketball. But the reality is those people kill themselves to get that done, do it on time and get it going. So you sometimes as a group have to like be each other's cheerleaders, be each other's support systems, which can get really draining when you're doing it day after day after day. But it is an important part. I really think that's an awesome tip.
I mean, I will say, like, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but like hands down, Syracuse had the best custodial staff that I've ever dealt with. And it was mainly because of that culture. Like I remember Maury, you would go and get them equipment, and you'd get them like all their Syracuse gear, and like that would just like show that appreciation that like, oh, we love this. Like, oh, we'll stay here for 20 years being a custodial and doing this. And like all the other institutions that I've been to, it's just been like such a challenge because there hasn't been that culture of like, hey, we need to treat these people that, let's face it, are probably the lowest paid full-time staff members at the university. And so like I always try to go out of my way and at least, thank them, tell them, hey, you're doing a great job, like keep it up.
I will say for like the people that aren't in facilities and events, the custodians and groups that I have found have always been the most successful is when they build a relationship with the people that are in that space. And they like really appreciate each other, and they like it becomes a mutual appreciation. And I think the people that don't recognize like that these people are working overnight to make sure that when you come in, your space is like, and that morning time when you're seeing them is like they're leaving to like all this stuff that they do for you. And I've always thought, wow, those people that like go out and have a conversation with them and say thanks for, and have a, get some rest, and like that little bit really changes it. And it's funny, if the staff that is in that section doesn't have that relationship with the person in a custodial role, that can even make it harder. So you're right, like building that appreciation and building the like, hey, you might not think about these people. And I'll let you know too, as a person in a role, helping to develop that with the people and trying to get that built up, that's not easy, but it could make all the difference in your facilities being this immaculate place compared to a place that could be really difficult. So even if you're the AD or whoever you are, I really recommend like appreciate those people that are really there to make sure that your day-to-day is a good one. So that's a good tip.
Very good. Very good.
What's going on?
Okay. Number three.
Number 3 is you're always a student. Be open-minded because there's always more than one way of doing something. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't know something, it's okay. Just ask the questions. And the most important part, I think, is to be able to take criticism. We actually just had a full department staff meeting, and like our athletic director was talking about, we all have our appraisals coming up because it's July and everyone has to get them in and stuff. And he was talking about like, hey, like, yeah, it's hard sometimes on the supervisor because they have so many people that they have to write these reports for. But at the end of the day, like, it shouldn't be too hard because it should just be a recap, because I want everybody to like in that moment correct each other, learn from each other, build from each other. That way at the end of it, it's nice and easy. And he gave this really great example. He went to our new women's basketball coach and he's like, hey, if you spent all week practicing, going over the plays, watching video, and your one player decides to go left when she should have done right, are you going to wait to the end of the season to tell her, hey, you should have went that way, remember? Or what are you going to do? And she's like, no, I'm just telling her right at the game. Tell her that she should have went the other way. And I was like, yeah, that's what you need to be. That's what you need to do as a leader, but also be able to receive that as everyone else.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. I think that I know that from an HR perspective, these check-ins become important because it makes sure that people are having some point, but I find them to be like, okay, like we're regularly talking about things, and like we are doing, our team meeting every week, but then we're also having our individual conversations. And I don't think I've ever walked into a meeting before and someone's completely surprised by the feedback that I'm giving them, because I've probably said it to them like a couple times.
Yep.
And I think you're right. It's about living it, not just, spitting it out there at the end of a year.
I was going to say, it's not about waiting till the end. I mean, at that point, it sometimes could be too far down the road where it can't be changed. So, I think I'll say from a personal standpoint, like my staff, I try to do like one-on-ones with them monthly and talking through different situations and how to get better here. And this is where, you can do better, but this is also where you're doing really well. So when we have to do these performance reviews or whatever, like you said, it's not a surprise. It's, oh yeah, I've worked on this. And then you can show improvement throughout the year. We started here, we got to here.
Right.
It like exactly like the basketball coach. If she didn't go left and you didn't tell her in December and she's still doing it in March, you're not going to the NCAA tournament. So tell her in December and you can show the progress from December to March. And maybe you do make the tournament and you are winning and more successful. So it's such a good correlation. It's good for people in sports to see it that way, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the learning part is even critical too. Like, it doesn't have to be just because your supervisor said something, right? Like
Right, exactly.
How often have you learned something from like a peer, coworker, colleague, or someone that's in a completely different unit than you? Like, sometimes I learn the most from that because it's something that I'm not exposed to regularly, or not a way that I typically look at something. And earlier in your career, it's kind of hard sometimes to see it. Like, I felt like the longer you get into these things and the more you can appreciate some of these other parts that you just didn't realize until you kind of picked up on it, it really changes your perspective.
I mean, my whole perspective changed when I went from being the athletic facilities person to a facilities person.
Right.
Then you learn a whole bunch of different trade unions, what actually goes into.
Right.
Like, to me, I was always like, hey, it's cold in here, make it warmer. Right.
Yeah. Right.
I realized, like, hey, what actually goes into doing this? And now I'm like, okay, hey, I learned how to do all this stuff. Like, when we actually bought our house 2 years ago, we renovated our whole entire basement. We gutted the whole thing and redid all the wires.
Right.
Would have never known how to do that. But
See,
like,
look at this. That's amazing.
Saved a lot of money.
But now you know,
a lot of money. There you
lot
go.
of money. And now like if you need to change the temperature in a space, you got to talk to like
how
three.
To do it.
You got to talk to like 3 different people, and then you can get it done.
Yep.
Oh, so good, so good.
Okay, are we on number 4 already?
Yes.
Okay, number 4.
Crushing it.
So this one is a trade that we say at Pitt. Only our trades really say it, and it's we're Pitt, which Pitt stands for patience. It takes time.
I love that.
So I look at it as like, people always think that like you can just ask for something, snap your fingers, and boom, it's right there. And I will say, like, that was 100% how it was when, like, in the athletic world, is always like, hey, coach needs something, you need it done immediately. If I want something, I need it done immediately. Like at Uville, we got a whole new weight room, and we were ordering stuff, and I'm like, why is it taking 10 weeks to get in a rack to get it installed? I don't understand. And then coming on this side of stuff, where now I'm learning, hey, again, being that student, I'm learning that, hey, it takes time because somebody has to send out bids. So where you're getting this from, and then you have to go through all the contract administration, and then finally you have to wait the 4 weeks for it to actually come in, and then you have to wait another 4 weeks for the carpenter who's servicing maybe 9 different buildings has to do yours. And like, one of the famous things is people always say like, hey, this is your world, we're all just living in it, and just kind of taking that step back and realizing, hey, that's not true. Like, you might think it is, but you just need patience. It'll get there eventually. You just gotta wait.
Yeah, it's not something that people in athletics are good at.
No, I was going to say
all.
athletics is like, I did the snap of your fingers. That's what they want.
I honestly was in a meeting a couple days ago that literally I wish I could have put that into their mind, because it was like, well, we need to install this thing and, we'll have it before the team gets back in July. And I'm like, nope, there's no possible way that's going to happen. I didn't say it that way, but I was like, there's a lot of things that need to be engaged before we get to this point. I will say that I have learned is that sometimes it's good to factor in what I would call the possibility of things not getting what you really think your timeline is, and give it a couple.
Adding that cushion.
Add a little cushion, and then when you're under it, people are like really excited because you said it was going to take 4 weeks, and it took 3, and it was amazing. But that's the reality of it, and it also gives you a buffer because, like as you said, you don't always know what's going to happen. I'm sure you've run into the thing where you think that this piece of equipment's coming over, but it's on a boat from China and it got stalled in the middle of the ocean. And now you're another 2 weeks into something, or, I'm looking at a field that has to get shipped from Germany. So I'm getting a little nervous right now about what that's going to be like. So you gotta, you gotta look at these things and give yourself a little grace.
Our new building that I'm operating, it was supposed to be open in November. That didn't happen. They got pushed. And then it was supposed to be February. So that's about when they hired me on. I started full time overseeing a building that wasn't open, that we couldn't even get into because it's still a construction site in February. And it wasn't until mid-March that we actually even got occupancy to go inside. And then immediately athletics and everybody's like, okay, we're going in. And I'm like, I haven't even ordered trash cans yet for Can we slow down a little bit?
Nope.
Yeah. There's no slowing down.
There isn't. And it seems to be the pace of things. There's some tips of sometimes you can try and guess what you're going to need and I'm sure you're doing that too of okay, well, they're probably going to ask for this. So let's put that order in now and see what happens. Or, you try and plan ahead of what you might need to do. And, like I said, give yourself a little cushion because that's all, under promise and over deliver, is always a good,
that's always a good one.
Good trick.
Always
and it's not because you're not wanting to do it for people. It's just, you're trying to set expectations, and expectations are that part of it that you're talking about. It's that, it's going to take time, and you got to get your mind in a place of this is the reality of it. We want to help you. We're there for you. We're not magicians.
Right.
What's your point? Oh, look at that. Yep, I did it.
It's done.
Surprise.
But the other thing that people don't realize is, and it's done well, when people are like, oh, we did this here. And I was like, well, what was the outcome of that? And it was terrible. Well, maybe you should have thought about doing it in a way that's
doing it the right way the first time.
Or that we had all these issues that never worked until halfway. And then you could go and go, well, if we just did it the right way, you would have to wait an extra week and it would have worked the whole time.
Perfectly.
So
yeah, exactly.
It's these things that people can't see in front of their faces. And in a good way, that's kind of why we exist, right? We've gotten that skill. We've been able to do it. We can help be that resource for them. But it's not something, coaches, this is not a natural skill for them, I will say, under any ability.
Patience is not something any coach has. But
I will say I've always been surprised that coaches can't put themselves in other people's shoes, because when you're developing plays or doing stuff, it's all about thinking what somebody else is doing. But when it comes to some of these other things, it's not really their top skill set.
Yeah.
No. Well, we agree.
But it's something everyone can develop. So if you're going out to be a coach, maybe think about being able to put your mindset in someone else's area. And at the same point, we got to do the same thing with coaches. They have a lot of pressure on them. They have deadlines to hit.
So true.
They have things that they need to do, and we have to try and educate them, communication's key, get to us as early as possible, do all these things, and then we can help them be successful. So it is a two-way street, but it can be pretty hard.
Even with this new building, because we've been so used, because Legends operates the Peterson Event Center, which is where our basketball is, and a lot of the other athletic administrations. Now we have this new building, but now it's they don't know how it operates quite fully.
Right.
We had graduation 2 weeks ago, and then
that's crazy.
And in the same week, we get an email that hey, we're also going to have wrestling camp in here. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, who?
Wait, what?
At the same time that we're doing this, I'm like, why am I only knowing like a week in advance before this? And they're like, oh, we kind of just like forgot. And I'm like, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, forgot.
That's a big forgot.
Yeah.
That's a big forgot.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh, Lord.
can't just spring on us. Like, we need patience here.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
And sometimes you need a time machine, because that would also help.
Yep.
That could also be helpful. Well, I think we're down to our last one, Jen.
Last one. All right, Alex. So what do you know now that you wish you knew then? So what do you know now at this point in your career that you wish you knew when you first started?
Yeah. I think it's going to be, you never know where life is going to take you. And it's okay to go into the unknown. So I will say, like, when I first started at Syracuse, I started as an intern. The whole thing was going to be, I was going to do the 1-year internship, and then I was going to move back to New England, be with my college girlfriend, and go back to schooling. And then all of a sudden, boom, Moore's like, hey, I got a full-time job. A lot of money.
Where it's like, you can't leave. You can't leave.
When you see quality, you got to lock it down.
So I go for that, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then whatever, 7 years later, it was like the opportunity. Well, we had COVID. I met my I guess wife now, and the opportunity to become an assistant athletic director at another institution. But it was like, okay, it's scary because I'm like, I'm going to be 2 hours away from her, and I'm moving to a program that one was going from a Division III to Division II, from the Saints to the Spartans, from like no facilities athletics department. So all of a sudden, I'm running the whole entire show, right? So I'm like, I got to make the best out of these opportunities. And then lo and behold, 2 years after that, she moves to Pitt. I don't have a job. I'm like, oh God, what do I do? And just go into the unknown. Hey, facilities operations. I've been in facilities. How much different can it be? Turns out it's a lot different. And I'll be honest, because I was in facility management for 3 years, and I thought for a while that I was not going to get back into athletics. And I was like, I don't know if I want to get back into athletics, knowing that, like, hey, my job now is 7:30 to 3. Like, I get out, I don't have to worry about nights, weekends, because that's the hard reality of athletics. And then this awesome opportunity kind of arose, and it still had that awesome, like, because we have our own events team. So, like, I don't necessarily have to stay for all of the events. Like, I just have to make sure.
That's great.
I just have to make sure that I have an engineer to make sure that the building and the toilets don't clog. But otherwise, I'm just like, hey, yeah, everything's set up. I mean, we have a conversion manager. So, like, hey, he does even that setup. I just have to make sure the power's to where they need it to go. And then after that, I'm like, all right, I'm out. But I still get that day-to-day stuff with the whole athletics department, coaches calling me, asking me what soap I put on their wrestling mats because their guys are slipping all over the place today. But just all that stuff, like, you never know what you're going to get into, and it's okay. Like, and I know, like, more even like some of your interns have like reached out to me and asked me about, like, hey, like, I'm getting to the end of my internship with Maury. I don't know what to do. And like, my advice is always like, hey, like, you don't have to stay in New York. You don't have to stay in Syracuse.
Right.
Like, look wherever. Like, if there's a job in California, go for it. Like, if you're young, like,
do it.
100%.
Especially when you're young.
Yeah.
Do it.
You take the things that you've learned and you go and find a place that it makes a lot of sense to be at. And I feel we've had so many people that have gone off and done amazing things at all these other places. It's really incredible.
Like Dorothy, I'll give the shout out to my wife. She's been Bowling Green, and then she went all the way out to Central Michigan, and then Syracuse, and now Pitt. So she's taking the most out of all her opportunities. And like, and sometimes the hard reality is, like, in college athletics, like, a lot of people like to stay for a while, and that's okay. But sometimes that lower generation, they have to move either to get to that next best thing. And
you have to look for where your opportunity is.
And all of that's okay. All of that's okay. And I think people get nervous about that. Like, oh, I'm bouncing too much, or I'm doing this too much, or I'm staying too long, or what. It's okay. Whatever works for you. Like, everybody has a different path.
Yeah.
You know?
And I like the fact that you said too, it's like, you don't know where your opportunities have come from. Like, a lot of times when things have come up for me, it's not that I expected them and like they were something that I was planning on this being the path that I was going to do. Like, yeah, I've been at the same institution for a long time. But a lot of the things that have become part of my job or things that are because of things I never expected would be coming towards my way. And that's kept it fresh and helped me elevate my career. Same way as like, you might see an opportunity in a different place that's going to build you up and put you in your next level. And that could be the next thing. So like you said, keep an open mind, be open to be able to like, look at those opportunities, whether it's where you're at or someplace else.
I mean, honestly, Maury, you're like a great example of like somebody who stayed at a university, but at the same time, like you started off doing lacrosse operations. So you dabbled with some academics, not what you majored in, and all of a sudden now like, hey, you're the associate athletic director and you're running all of it, right? So
and
that's a great example.
You just don't know what's going to come your way. And honestly, just like you, like, and I'm very, I don't have any ownership of you, but very proud because I've always thought like you look at what your opportunities are and you make the most out of them. And I've always been super excited there's like a list of people that have been through that I've been with and have been a part of our operation that I feel like have done that so well and just take what's available to them, whether it's they're staying at like Sean's been at Brown for a long time and he's developed himself through Brown. There's other people, Eric Olson has gone and been to a couple different places and he's doing something amazing with what he's doing at Arkansas right now. Like everybody has their own path and you figure out a way. And that's the important thing. It's really, I think, like you said, be open to what is next and don't be afraid of what that could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. So don't be afraid.
So afraid.
So good.
Okay.
So
well,
good,
Alex, you know how I feel about you. I'm always glad when I get to see you. So
yeah.
Yes, this was great. Thank you, Alex. We so appreciate it. So many good tips. So many good tips.
Well, I hope you'll come down on Thursday football.
Oh, we'll definitely have to do that.
I'm telling you, I might surprise you this year. You might be completely shocked and I will come out. I will be not in Syracuse and be in Pitt I will leave Central New York in the middle of a fall season. You could be shocked.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll have to report on that. But Alex, thank you so much. And thanks everybody for listening. Make sure you are following us on all our social platforms at AthCareerPod and listening on all your podcast platforms and liking and rating and reviewing. And new episodes drop every Tuesday. So thanks everybody. Thanks, Alex.
Bye.
Bye guys.
If you like the 5 Tips and Tricks podcast, make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. You can rate and review us, including questions that may be answered on future episodes. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast for careers in athletics is part of Athletic Career Consulting. Check us out at www.athcareer.com. Don't forget to follow and like us on your top social media platforms.